Ahoy, adventurers! Buckle up for a thrilling journey across the seas as we dive into the mysteries of some of the world's most enigmatic islands. These are places where legends whisper of hidden treasures, chilling curses, and secrets that defy explanation. From forgotten shores to eerie landscapes, let's set sail with a sense of wonder and a touch of spine-chilling excitement. Our adventure begins with tales of swashbuckling pirates and lost riches, the kind that spark the imaginations of kids and adults alike. There's something about the ocean's vastness that calls to our sense of discovery, isn't there? The allure of buried treasure, ancient curses, and uncharted lands, it's the stuff of dreams. But as explorers mapped the world, filling in the blanks on their charts, the age of grand adventures seemed to fade. Or did it? Out there, beyond the horizon, there are still places that hold secrets far beyond our wildest imaginations. So hoist the sails, feel the wind in your hair, and let's explore the most mysterious islands on Earth. First stop, Palmyra Atoll, a speck in the vast Pacific Ocean, steeped in beauty and shadow. During World War II, this coral island played a key role as a refueling stop for American naval ships in the Pacific Theater, a critical cog in the war machine. But we're not here to talk about its wartime logistics. Oh no, Palmyra's story is far stranger, wrapped in whispers of dread and unsolved mysteries. Picture this, a tiny paradise, just 12 square kilometers, with 14 kilometers of pristine coastline. It's a stone's throw from Hawaii, surrounded by vibrant coral reefs teeming with over 150 species of marine life. Sounds like a dream vacation spot, right? A tropical haven kissed by perfect weather and bursting with biodiversity. But don't pack your sunscreen just yet. Palmyra has a darker side, one that's kept adventurers and treasure hunters buzzing for centuries. Back in 1798, a captain sailing across the Pacific couldn't sleep. Tossing and turning, he felt an eerie pull as if something or someone was urging him to stay awake. In the dead of night, he roused a crewman and together they kept watch. At dawn, they spotted something strange. A faint outline in the distance, a coral reef that would later be named Palmyra Atoll. Was it a mirage? A trick of the light? The captain wasn't sure, but he noted it in his log, describing a fleeting glimpse of land too hazy to confirm. A report in the Telegraph from July 29, 1803, quoted him, "We thought we saw land from the masthead south of King's Shoal, but it was too faint to be certain." Palmyra, it seems, has always been a place that teases the edge of reality. Now, let's dive into one of Palmyra's most haunting tales, the legend of the Esperanza, a Spanish merchant ship from 1861. Laden with gold, silver, and Incan treasures, this vessel set sail from Callao, Peru, bound for the West Indies. But the Pacific had other plans. A ferocious storm battered the Esperanza, leaving it crippled and vulnerable. Enter the pirates, ruthless opportunists who saw a floating jackpot. They seized the ship, enslaved the crew, and looted its priceless cargo. When the Esperanza was no longer useful, they sank it without a second thought. The pirates, now rich beyond their wildest dreams, sailed on with their spoils. But fate wasn't done with them. After 43 days adrift, another storm struck, snapping their mast and driving their ship onto Palmyra's jagged reefs. Miraculously, all 90 aboard survived, dragging the wreck to shore in hopes of repairs. But the damage was too great. Most scattered, fleeing for their lives, while 10 stayed behind, guarding the treasure with dwindling hope. For a year, they survived on the island's meager resources. Fish, coconuts, whatever they could scavenge. They built a small raft, but it could only carry 6. Those 6 set off to find help, leaving 4 to watch the treasure. The sea, cruel as ever, unleashed another storm. Only 2 survived, rescued by an American whaling ship. One died soon after reaching land, leaving a single survivor, James Hines, who lived just 30 days more. Before his death, he whispered of a vast treasure hidden on an island in the Pacific, a secret that died with him. To this day, no one knows where the Esperanza's treasure lies. The 4 men left on Palmyra? Their fate remains a mystery. Some say the island itself guards the gold, cursed to keep its secrets forever. Palmyra's beauty may be a step from paradise, but its shadows hint at something far darker, a place where hope and horror collide. Now, let's shift gears to a place that makes Palmyra seem like a walk in the park. Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island. Off the coast of Brazil, this 43-hectare island is a lush, tropical Eden, 206 meters above sea level, with dense forests and a mild climate. Sounds inviting? Think again. This is the world's deadliest island, home to millions of venomous snakes, with a density of 1 to 5 per square meter. That's right. Step on this island, and you're practically guaranteed a slithering welcome. The star of this nightmare? The golden lancehead viper, a serpent so deadly its venom can melt flesh with hemotoxins, making prey easier to swallow. These vipers are found nowhere else on Earth, a unique and terrifying species born from the island's isolation. 10,000 years ago, rising sea levels cut Queimada Grande off from mainland Brazil, trapping its snake population. With no natural predators and abundant prey, the vipers thrived, turning the island into a reptilian kingdom. In the colonial era, it was called San Felipe, but its snake-infested reality earned it the name Gorgona, after the snake-haired monster of Greek mythology. By 1959, Colombia, which briefly controlled the island, declared private ownership illegal and built a high-security prison for the nation's most dangerous criminals. A real-life Alcatraz, but with venomous guards. For 25 years, it was a living hell where snake bites were as common as meals. Escape was impossible. Even if you breached the concrete walls, the snakes and shark-infested waters awaited. The prison closed in 1984 and nature reclaimed the island. Today, it's a no-go zone for civilians, accessible only to Brazil's Navy for lighthouse maintenance and scientists studying the golden lancehead. These researchers brave the island to unlock the secrets of its venom, which could hold medical breakthroughs. But the vipers aren't the only threat. Bats, being rats, add to the chaos. And then there's the black market. Poachers, dubbed biopirates, risk their lives to capture these rare snakes, fetching $10,000 to $30,000 each on the dark web. It's a treasure hunt, but one where the prize might bite back. Next, we sail to Poveglia, a small island in Italy's Venetian lagoon, with a history so grim it's been dubbed the Island of Souls. The legends here are chilling, steeped in plague, war, and madness. In Roman times, Poveglia was a mass burial ground for plague victims, a place to isolate the sick from the healthy. By the 14th century, it was a battleground, fought over in bloody conflicts between Venice and Genoa. No one knows how many died here, but the toll is staggering. In the late 18th century, as the Black Death ravaged Europe, Poveglia became a quarantine station. 2 ships arrived carrying hundreds of infected souls. Officially a quarantine, it was little more than a death sentence. Victims were thrown into pits and burned alive. Some estimate 160,000 perished in the flames, including those merely suspected of illness. The screams, they say, still linger in the air. By the 20th century, Poveglia was briefly owned by the Italian state and repurposed as a mental hospital in 1922. Here, the stories grow darker. A doctor, rumored to be unhinged, conducted horrific experiments on patients, performing lobotomies with hammers and drills in the hospital's bell tower. Locals whisper he went mad, haunted by the island's ghosts. One night, he climbed the tower and leapt to his death, or so he thought. Witnesses claim he survived the fall, writhing in agony as a mysterious fog enveloped him, choking the life from his body. The hospital closed in 1968 and Poveglia was abandoned. Today, it's off-limits to tourists, though locals swear they hear whispers or see shadows in the ruins. One tale speaks of Maria, a young plague victim torn from her family. Her ghostly figure is said to wander the island, a reminder of its tragic past. Whether you believe the paranormal or not, Poveglia's history is a horror story in itself, a place where humanity's darkest moments left an indelible mark. Now for something truly bizarre. Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of the Dolls, in Mexico's Xochimilco canals. Imagine hundreds of broken, weathered dolls hanging from trees, their empty eyes staring into the void. This isn't a movie set, it's real, and it's as creepy as it sounds. The story begins with a man named Don Julian, who left his family to live alone on this tiny island. One day, he found a girl's body in the canal, drowned under mysterious circumstances. Haunted by her death, he began collecting discarded dolls, believing they'd comfort her restless spirit, and perhaps others lingering nearby. He scavenged from nearby towns, trading for broken dolls and piecing them together, even if it meant creating grotesque hybrids missing limbs or heads. He hung them on trees, nailed them to fences, and scattered them across the island. Locals claim the dolls move, whisper, or beckon boaters closer. Insects and spiders crawl from their hollow mouths, adding to the eerie scene. When Don Julian's story spread, the island became a magnet for thrill seekers, drawn by its macabre charm. Today, it's one of Mexico's top tourist spots for those craving the uncanny. But the tale takes a darker turn. In April 2001, Don Julian and his nephew were fishing when he heard a strange call from the water. Locals say he'd heard it before, but this time he couldn't resist. His nephew returned to find him dead, floating in the exact spot where the girl had drowned years earlier. Some say old age claimed him. Others whisper the dolls or the spirits within drove him to madness. Whatever the truth, his death only deepened the island's mystique, making it a must-visit for paranormal enthusiasts. Finally, we venture to the Arctic for a mystery that defies explanation. Croker Land, an island that might not even exist. In 1906, explorer Robert Peary claimed to have spotted a mountain range off Canada's northern coast, naming it Croker Land after a wealthy sponsor. His discovery was celebrated, and Croker Land appeared on maps at the National Geographic Library. But when a 1913 expedition, led by Donald Macmillan, set out to confirm it, they found nothing. No island, no mountains, just ice and sky. A sailor claimed to see a white peak on the horizon, but after days of searching, Macmillan chalked it up to a mirage, a fata morgana caused by Arctic light bending over the horizon. Peary's reputation took a hit, especially after rival Frederick Cook claimed to have reached the North Pole first. Peary's defenders argued the Arctic's harsh conditions, blizzards, fog, and endless snow, could obscure even a real island. Yet no trace of Croker Land has ever been found. Was it a mirage? A fabrication? Or does it still hide, waiting for the right explorer to uncover it? Our final tale brings us to Oak Island, Canada, home to the infamous Money Pit, a legend that's lured treasure hunters for over 2 centuries. In 1795, a teenager named Daniel McGinnis saw strange lights flickering on the island. The next day, he found a curious depression in the earth, surrounded by felled oaks. Convinced it was a pirate's cache, perhaps even Captain Kidd's, who admitted to burying treasure here before his 1699 arrest, Daniel and his friends began digging. At 1 meter, they hit a stone slab. Below it, a tunnel narrowed with depth. At 3 meters, wooden beams blocked their path. At 7 meters, another layer of wood stopped them. Exhausted, they gave up, but Daniel never forgot. 9 years later, he returned, finding a stone inscribed with cryptic symbols. The group dug deeper, only to hit water, flooding the pit. Defeated, they abandoned the search. In 1804, another team found coconut fibers, odd since coconuts don't grow in Canada, hinting at a treasure from distant shores. By 1849, more expeditions uncovered gold chain links, fueling the frenzy. Over the years, artifacts like coins, pottery, and a Queen Victoria brooch surfaced, but the pit remained elusive, flooding every attempt. Tragically, the hunt claimed lives. A boiler explosion in 1861, a worker crushed in 1897, and a 1965 gas poisoning that killed 4, including a father and son. Some believe the pit is cursed, destined to claim 7 lives before revealing its secrets. With 6 deaths recorded, treasure hunters remain undeterred, though Canada's 1959 laws now regulate searches. Today, Oak Island thrives as a tourist hotspot, its mystery unsolved, but its allure undeniable. What is it about these islands that captivates us? Is it the promise of treasure, the thrill of the unknown, or the chilling tales of those who dared to explore? From Palmyra's lost gold to Snake Island's deadly vipers, Poveglia's haunted shores to the doll's eerie gaze, and the phantom Croker Land to Oak Island's cursed pit, these places remind us that the world still holds secrets worth chasing. So tell us, brave explorers, where will your next adventure take you?